Good morning, everybody. Today is December 6th, Sunday, I think, December 6th. So it's another Sunday morning. I haven't been down here in a couple of weeks. Well, actually, that's not completely true. I was down here briefly. I did try and do a little bit of work on that little part on the mill for the CR250 project, and I wasn't down here very long, and I just felt completely wiped out. So basically what's been going on is the week of Thanksgiving, I came down with pneumonia, some kind of a cough that I had started having and had developed into, that was some kind of an infection that actually started with the kids and was kind of being passed around the house. And most of us ended up just with the cough, but my 11-year-old son and myself both contracted pneumonia as a complication from it. And I've never had pneumonia before, and I tell you, it's not fun. The one thing it does is it just completely saps your energy. I think part of that is because it's almost impossible to sleep at night because the coughing is so bad, it keeps you awake. So anyways, strong antibiotics and some cough medicine, prescription grade cough medicine with codeine in it, certainly helped. And it takes a few weeks for it to completely, I guess, get out of your system. But so, anyways, pretty beat up lately. So when I did feel well enough to do anything, I was able to sit down and get some video edited. So I've got quite a few. You probably just saw a whole slew of Wells Index videos and some other videos, and that's all of that was pretty much edited during that break. We actually had to cancel our Thanksgiving holiday because we just had too many people that weren't feeling well in the house. And then that following Sunday we had the wife and I and the kids had a turkey dinner. We cooked our turkey and did their own little Thanksgiving thing. Today we get a birthday party. I got a son who has a November 28th birthday, and I got another son who has a December 2nd birthday, so we combined the two parties together. And we were, because of all the difficulties with the illness and everything, we kind of were running out of time to do this thing, so we got to get it done today. So anyways, I did want to do something today, so it's been a little while since, because I know I edited a ton of video that didn't really have much as far as tool buys and everything, and I picked up a few things, nothing, no major hauls, but a few pieces here, a couple pieces here and there, and it all adds up. So I'm going to do a Flea Market Craigslist finds type of series video this morning, and mainly just so I can get this stuff put away. Alright, before I show the new stuff, I want to just revisit an item I showed in the past. This actually was just tacked on in a Vernon lathe video. So some of you guys who don't watch the Vernon videos may not have even seen this, but this was a thing I got on the bargain table at the used tool store for a couple of bucks. And I just liked the looks of it. It looks like it was pretty precision made. And then I noticed that it was SPI, which is Swiss Precision Instruments, which is a company that makes all types of things. So the question was, what is this thing? It's got a T-bolt on it. Clearly it's made to bolt down to a table. I'm assuming a table on a mill. And you've got a couple of thumb screws that let you adjust this height. And you get a couple of thumb screws here that allow you to adjust a rod that would go in and out that is missing. So the best guess we've got is that this is actually a vise stop. So in other words, you've got your vise sitting here on the table of the mill, and you put this in a slot, and you have a rod come over, and you adjust it as a stop, so that if you're doing more than one piece in the vise, you can put one piece in, run it up against the stop, it's in position, do your operation, take it out, put the next piece in, run it right up to the stop, over and over and over again. So, thing is, when you search SPI table stops or vice stop or anything like that. A lot of different things come up, and this doesn't come up. So I don't know, still don't know what the deal is on this. And again, this has got a part number on it, but didn't work out. 98-010-9. But if I end up using it, I think I'm going to use it as a table stop, because it sure seems like that's what it was designed to be. I'm just going to find a rod that goes in here. But the interesting thing was, and when I was looking up table stops, and I was looking at the photographs of all the ones that came up, or vice stops I should say, something came up and I looked at it and I was like, boy, I know I've seen that. And sure enough, one of the last large buys I made, there was a Craftsman lower roll around toolbox that had a bunch of stuff in it, and in that toolbox was this. Now this is clearly shop made, but I had no idea what this particular thing was when I first found it in there, and now I'm convinced that this is a vice stop, and the reason why is because it looks identical to some vice stops that I saw on the internet. So I think basically the guy who made this just basically decided to make his own instead of buy one. So it's got some interesting things going for it here, because, well, there's this spacing of these holes. I don't know whether or not, just curious if this actually, well, it looks like the spacing's not correct for my Kurt vise, but maybe he had a vise, a different vise that this fit on. Well guys, I stand corrected. I just checked it and it's a perfect fit. The spacing is perfect for the bolts that hold the jaws onto the Kurt vise. So it's apparent that this is meant to bolt on in the place of one of the jaws, and then I guess it would sit like this, and then I guess your part would run up against and hit this bar right here as your stop. I guess it could maybe like that, and then you got adjustments here, you know, loosen up these screws and you can adjust it so you can move this rod in and out. The one that's kind of weird to me though is that he's got this end slotted with a hole in it, so it almost looks to me like, well, if I loosen this screw and push this rod out, you'd be able to see the hole there. So it almost looks like there's another rod that can go in there or something. But anyway, so at least now I know what that's for, and I won't just toss it in the scrap pile. And then he also had this, but this one was pretty self-explanatory. It's got the T-bolt on it. Obviously, you just bolt this down to the table on the mill, and now you got a stop that you can adjust to come over and hit the end of something. So that's nice. I mean, for freebies, those are pretty much, you know, didn't cost me anything. That haul paid for, you know, I forgot exactly what I paid for that whole haul, but definitely was worth it. So I hit the used tool store a few weeks ago, and the bargain table was at either $1 or $2 a piece, and I spotted this bin sitting there, and it's a nice heavy plastic strong bin just for throwing stuff in, you know, and putting it on a shelf. This is an Acro Bins by Acro Mills. So obviously this was probably part of a modular shelving system. There was probably several of these, but I just, you know, lots of times I'll have cardboard boxes laying around here with parts in them or whatever, and this is just a little bit nicer. And then there was a couple of these little ones here. This is nice. Again, this is a heavy one. Slot hopper fill box, made in the USA. TDN Money Systems. Slot hopper fill box, TDN Money Systems. I wonder if this came out of a bank or something. But again, you know, it's a good sturdy plastic box. Not that would crack. That's not a crack though. Alright. Well, again, just to put stuff in, you know, and then this is another one. This is another Acro bin. Small one. Again, these are nice sturdy plastic boxes. These aren't the cheap junk you see at the, like, you know, you know, like that Rubbermaid crap. I mean, not that Rubbermaid's crap. It's just not really as sturdy as this stuff. So anyway, $6 for that. Thought that was worth it. And then when I was tightening the bearing retaining nut on the Wells Index mill, I had mentioned that I had been at the tool store and saw a tool that I didn't buy for 10. You know, he had $10 on it, and I said that, well, next time I go back there, I'll if he still has it, I'll buy it. So he still had it, so I bought it for $10. This is a snap-on, believe it or not. A1T6, I think it says. It's clearly marked snap-on. But what's kind of funny to me is that the fit and the finish on this is kind of I don't know. It just doesn't seem like snap-on quality, you know. But what's nice about it is it's got 2 different size pins on each end. And then it's completely adjustable as far as size goes, you know, to quite a good range. So this would have been the perfect tool. I ended up making out okay with what I had. And then there's actually a pair of holes right here, so it looks almost as if you could maybe put another pair of pins in there for some smaller ones. I don't know. But I'm happy with that for future reference in case I need something like that. And then he had a bin there that had a bunch of, there was some end mills and stuff like that in there, and the bin was marked, you know, $2 each. Well, when I was fishing through the bin, I found this, and turns out, you know, it's a little set. So for $2, I got this, looks like a homemade radius gauge set, but these are large. So I thought, well, that might be handy if I ever want to measure a large radius. You know, I've got the little Starrett radius gauge set. I actually got a couple of them. I think I got a Lufkin and a Starrett. Anyways, so what I got here is some larger radiuses. So that's a handy little thing for $2. Then I went back about a week or 2 later, and he had actually gotten in another Kennedy 11 draw top box. And no, I didn't buy it. I'm pretty much getting real picky as far as Kennedy toolboxes go, unless I can really score a major deal on it. I just got so many of them now. You know, ideally I'd like to get another 11 draw that matches the one that I got, but the one I got is so nice that, you know, when you see those pop up on eBay, they're crazy money, even used. Alright, so he had this, it was funny, I spotted this rod guard brand. This is just your plastic welding rod holder, and he hadn't priced this yet. This was actually in his back room, but I happened to spot it through the opening there. I said, what are you going to get for that rod holder? He says, which one? So I said, well, can I grab it? He said, yeah. So I picked it up and showed it to him. I said, you take $3 for this? And then he made a comment about, he said, you mean for the thing that I normally get 15 for? And it was funny because any of you guys who have bought these before know that you can get these, I think, for $8 brand new, and then if you get a coupon, even less at like Harbor Freight. And this isn't the kind of thing where you're going to go, oh geez, yeah, this rod guard, is this really any better than the cheapo? This is a made in USA, but I mean, is this really going to be any better than the cheapo one from Harbor Freight? I kind of doubt it. Anyways, so I kind of gave him a funny look, and I said, really? I said, these are not that expensive new. And he thought for a second. He says, oh, that he had a set of 3 he was thinking of that he had sold for 15 or something like that. So anyways, the end result was there were rods inside of it for aluminum. I said, I don't even want the rods because who knows how old they are, and I don't like I don't anticipate I'm going to be trying to arc weld aluminum. So anyways, I think he agreed to the $3 on this, so that was okay. Then I looked through the Kennedy toolbox. I always look in the drawers because he tends to not empty out the bra unless there's something really good in there. Like, you know, he'll take out like micrometers and stuff like that because he'll sell those separate. He puts those in his case. But there's always stuff left behind. So what do we end up finding? and I found a couple of files, Nicholson files I believe, that are like brand new. Actually, I don't even see a name on that file, but that file looks brand new. This is a Nicholson with a brand new handle on it. I think the handle, yeah, the handle was loose in there. So $2 a piece for the files. Asked him what he wants for the Airco filler metal guide. This was apparently it was $3 new, and he said I could have that as a freebie. The Noga, which is a good brand name, small deburring tool, has some crud on the cutter edge there, but that's a nice little deburrer right there. I think I gave $1 or $2 for that. The temp sticks. This is a 300 degree, and this is the two 300 degree temp sticks, and there's still quite a bit left to them. Temp pill stick these are. I asked him how much he wanted for those. He said I could take them. Those are freebies. File card, I think I paid $2 for this file card. This is a no-name file card. I think I paid, forgot what I paid for this little chuck. Well, you know me, I'm pretty cheap, so it couldn't have been a lot. It was probably like $4 or $5. It was probably one of those deals where we pulled a bunch of stuff together to come to an agreement. But I'm sure I'm not into this chuck for more than $5. This is a Jacobs number 1B. So it's a good quality little chuck, and I like the fact that it's already on this little arbor. So I figure I could chuck this right in a collet and use really smaller drill bits in the mill. So that's why I wanted that. And then this was on the I think the table that week was down to like 50 cents or something like that, and I just saw this piece of steel and I said, you know what, I can probably use that for something. I honestly don't even remember why I got this. I think I had something in mind for this, and I don't even remember. Mine's not working as well as it should either. It's the other thing that getting wiped out from pneumonia will do to you. So I've attended a couple of auctions nearby me, industrial auctions where they've been selling businesses that closed and selling the inventory and everything. And the latest one I just was at this past week. I didn't stay for the whole auction because, again, I still wasn't feeling 100%. And the only thing that dragged me out of the house to get there was there were a couple of lots of Loris tool holders, and I really want to get some CA size tool holders. I'm actually right in the middle of working a deal with a gentleman on the Hobby Machinist website, and it looks like I'm going to end up buying 3 holders off of him to start. So you know, I'll update when I get those, show you guys what I got. But yeah, I couldn't buy those holders. They lumped all the holders together with multiple sizes in there. A lot of them I wouldn't need. And make a long story short, with the online bidding, prices went pretty high. There were 2 Starrett 199 levels. And again, if you were an online bidder and you weren't local and didn't attend the inspection, what you wouldn't realize is that one of the 2 levels was in really nice shape, and the other level looked like it had been dropped more than once because it had 2 good-sized chunks taken out of the thick plastic or Bakelite or whatever that top section of those levels are made out of. And the bottom of that level, it had none of the original scraping marks from the factory left, and it was all scratched up to hell. So somebody was abusing that level over its life. So really, you were buying one nice level and then one kind of crappy level that you would have to sell on eBay to somebody, some unsuspecting soul. Anyways, so I didn't get anything at that auction. Forgot what those levels ended up going for, but I remember when the hammer knocked down on those, and the once you put it in the buyer's premium, which was 15 or 18%, I quickly realized I've seen them sell. I've seen nice ones like that sell on eBay for less money. So go figure. But the previous industrial auction, I did win 2 lots. One lot was two cylinder gauges, which cylinder squares, 2 cylinder squares, shop-made cylinder squares, but really nicely executed. And I'll show those in a minute. But this is the only other lot I got. There was the inspection room, and they had all the shelving there, and they just had racks and racks of large micrometer sets, and a lot of them were Mitutoyo, some of them were Fowler, I think, and there was some Starrett, and all of those went for pretty decent money. And there was a tool dealer there from New Jersey. I've run into him before. He comes up this way and buys a lot. He's got apparently at least 1 or 2 locations that he has a store that he needs to keep well stocked, and apparently he does really well, because he's not shy about spending money on some of this stuff. But anyways, a couple of guys that were buying all of those, when it got to this one, they pretty much passed on this one. And I think I popped on this for 25 bucks and was the only bid and got it. And the reason why is because this is supposed to be a Starrett 9 to 12 micrometer set. The micrometer's in here and there's much other stuff in here, but there's only 2 standards in the box, and there's a rod in there now, and there's only 2 other replaceable rods. So I haven't figured out yet exactly what this set's supposed to have in it. I think they use the same case maybe for multiple micrometers, because you can see there's actually a place for 4 more standards here. 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, that's 4 standards. So I don't know what this what went in here. But anyways, what I was impressed by was how clean this was. I don't think this saw much use. You can see the 9-12 is the 12 is a little rubbed off, but it just looked really good. You know, it's no corrosion on it. The click stop works. All 3 micrometer wrenches are in there. Again, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think it's only missing 1 of these, even though there's more slots. The sad thing is that there's a warning right in here explaining that with this micrometer, when you buy it and it's furnished with these, that these are precision ground, I guess, and made to fit the individual micrometer. So they warn you that you don't want to mix these up with, like, say, another micrometer. So that obviously means that I can't just apparently buy 1 of these and expect it to solve my problems. I could buy a standard, but the funny thing is, these standards bring pretty big money on eBay. I see people offering these standards occasionally, and they want $60 or $70 or more for 1 standard. So I'm never going to put that kind of money into this set, but I can use it with the sizes that I have, and for 25 bucks, that's a steal. That's a steal any day of the week. Heck, I think the box is probably worth that if somebody needed the box. So also there in the inspection room on a shelf were 2 boxes identical like this, that somebody had, made these boxes and painted them up, and they're marked, looks like FTM11418 cylinder square, general use, L-106 INSP. I'm assuming that means it was inspected. I don't know what L-106 means. This part number here doesn't mean anything either, apparently. I've searched high and low and haven't been able to find anything. But I believe what it is I believe these are shop-made cylinder squares that they were using there. And they had the 2 of them together, and I only wanted 1, but that's how it is with the auction. A lot of these auctions, they'll pile of stuff together because they just figured tool dealers are buying them. So me and this other guy hammered each other on these things. I ended up winning them for 50 bucks for the pair, plus the 15% buyer's premium. So I don't know, being that it's a shop-made one, I may have overpaid. Let me pull this out for you and show you the condition. What I'll say is, I'll say that, you know, the condition they're in, they probably wouldn't necessarily suffice for inspection work any longer. They really are well executed, whoever made these. The problem with them is that they've got some oxidation on them. And so when you're dealing with, you know, precision cylinder square, so there's actually, I can see rub marks on here that looked like somebody was scouring this, which is probably not a good thing to do with a precision square. But on this side here, you can actually see there's like a discoloration. Now I can't feel it with my finger. It's still silky smooth, which is nice. It's got this, you know, it's the classic design of the cylinder square where it's got this recess. Okay, both sides. All right. So again, for precision work, you probably have to have this sent out somewhere. And I mean, I'm not even sure, would they grind this, or would they do some kind of like a lapping process on this? But obviously I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'll offer one of these for sale at some point on eBay, and you know, somebody who's going to use it for what I'm going to use it for isn't going to care if it's not perfect. And what I want to use this for is, I want to use this for only one job, and that's for tramming my mill. Keith Rucker shows in one of his videos on tramming his Wells Index mill that he uses a cylinder square and basically, you know, puts this on the table of the mill, brings the quill down, touches up against it, puts a light behind it, and when he gets it to the point where you can't see any light in both directions, you know, and then moves it to the back to do the nod, moves it to the side to do the tilt, and when he gets to the point where that is good, he then put an indicator on it and showed that he was within like 1,000th or something crazy like that. It did a great job, and it was a nice, quick, easy way to do it. So ever since I saw that video, I was been on the lookout for a cylinder square. But you know, a factory-made precision cylinder square is quite expensive, and the one he had is a style where it's just got like a base probably close to this diameter and just a rod that sticks up. The style of cylinder square that they sell that are like these, I think, are even more expensive. This is a pretty good size one. This is just under 4 inches diameter, just under 6 inches in height. So a 4x6 cylinder square. So I'm not terribly disappointed in that purchase. Yeah, I mean, I wish I had just been able to buy one for $25, but, and you know what? I don't know, with the condition of that other one being similar to this, who knows what it'll bring. Maybe there'll be such little interest in it that I don't know. Anyways, so I got that. Alright, almost done. Last two items. I swung by the flea market, my local flea market, which I hadn't been to in weeks, and the guy I've bought from in the past, he wasn't at his booth, but I happened to look and spotted a box with some stuff in it, and I spotted this genuine Aloris tool holder. And boy, I wish it was a CA, but it's a CXA, which is actually a size that I wish I had. This is a CXA 10. You can actually see the Aloris stamp right there, CXA 10. And what this is a combination knurling, and I think this is designed so you can put a cutter in here on this side in the slot, and then on this side here you're supposed to have your knurling wheels. So it's a combination knurling holder. It's missing the stud, but the threads look good, and the little thumb wheel that goes on top here. But he only had $10 on this, and I actually got it for $8. You know, whenever you can buy a genuine Aloris tool holder, if it doesn't have big chunks taken out of it from being crashed or whatever, whenever you can buy one of these for 10 bucks, it's pretty much a good deal. And 8's an even better deal. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'll probably hold on to it for the time being in case I do end up getting a CXA tool post. I still think a CXA would be the perfect size for the Vernon. It's a 14-inch swing. So, but I don't know. I don't even know if the Vernon's going to stay with me that long. You know, if I finish the Hendy and I fall in love with the Hendy, I don't know whether or not it makes sense to hold on to the Vernon just because it's a 14-inch versus a 12-inch swing. But, alright, I'm getting off the subject. So that for 10 bucks. I'm sorry, 8 bucks. And then, last but not least, this cheese bag power supply. It's a model number MPA 7601. So I haven't looked up yet what this is supposed to be for. Actually, it says Eastman Kodak Company. That's interesting. There's a guy there who sells all kinds of adapters and stuff just in a box, and I was looking through, and lo and behold, I came across this one. And the reason why I snatched it up is because this is a 24 volt supply. So this is a 0.95 amp. I'm sorry, no, that's the consumption. 24 volt, 1.8 amp charger. And I don't know what this is supposed to originally have been for, but I'm going to see whether or not I can get this to charge my Razor scooter batteries. So I decided to take a chance on this for $1. I don't even know if it works, but for $1 I took a chance. And that's a wrap, guys. I'm going to go upstairs and rest a little while before the birthday party guests get here.